everyone right now. Take a moment, put a black heart, put a black whatever in the chat for the queen that never was, aka the beast under the floor, aka Rainice, the queen in black. Let's go, y'all. This was woo wee. Listen, shout out to everyone that watched the watch along. It was a fun watch along. The episode was okay. Right. We'll get to that. You know, some highs and some lows. But let's talk about those highs for a second. Let me put her back on the screen. Can we acknowledge what we all just witnessed, not just me. The whole goddamn world has been watching this show. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to go, what to say, what to do. Helena, listen to that girl. She's been predicting things for the last couple weeks. There's a beast under the board. Oh, Helena, play with your bugs. Go bathe your children. Go read I don't know. Listen to her. She's been telling y'all this whole episode. Man, when she came out of that dragon's pit with her dragon, I knew she wasn't going to say Jakaris, but I was just hoping and praying that she was going to say Jakaris and just end it all right then and there. She should have done it. But we got 4 more seasons of this excellent show. But it was a warning. It was a warning. Shots fired. She looked at them and said, you thought you can come in my chambers, lock me in my room, and me not respond in the way that I'm responding right now? She should have said Jakaris, man. We're going to talk about Allison, and we're going to talk about Quentin Tarantino. Did y'all like Quentin Tarantino's cameo on tonight's episode? Quentin Tarantino was a weirdo in this episode, man. Shout out to Q. I didn't expect Quentin Tarantino to make an appearance in tonight's episode. Allison OnlyFans out there is gonna go crazy for the foot fetishes. We'll talk about that. The White Worm, y'all. Man, we've been talking about her for the last few weeks, and that accent. What's that accent? Can y'all help me with that dialect? Is it Wakandan? Is it New Orleans? Like what's the accent? I know her throat looks to be, cut. Was it something that happened when she got cut that she kind of speaks in this dialect? I don't know. We'll talk about her, but oh my goodness, man, she came out of that floor with that dragon, and it reminded me so much. I can't think of the exact episode, but y'all know the scene. Cersei, right, in the Faith of the Seven. And when the green the fire, I can't think of the flame, the green flame. Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. When it came up and destroyed all those people. Oh my gosh, I am on one right now. The episode, like I said, was kind of a little up and down, whatever. Visual effects weren't as clean. Aegon's not really working for me in this episode. You know, he's a pervert, he's a creep, he's a freak, but his performance was a little lackluster, and there was a couple scenes. Cole, put an L in the chat for Cole. That man is continually to piss me off. L in the chat for Cole right now. But goddamn, Rainice. Oh my goodness. I'm just replaying that scene right now. And if y'all was watching the watch long, as it was gearing up, I'm like, wait a minute. There's a beast under the floor. There's a beast. What does that mean? What did that? And goddamn it all came to fruition. Ooh, that was hyped. Oh man. Shout out to y'all. Every single one of y'all. I'm just rambling right now. Shout out to every single one of y'all that's joining us live tonight in tonight's live after show. This has been such a fun experience. Every single week we talk about it. We break it down. We have such a fun time with the special guests and the variety of awesome people. Give me a second. My dog is he wants to be a cameo. Apologize. All right, yeah, we gathering our thoughts here. Yeah, put an L in the chat for Cole, man. He's such a lame. Do we got any Team Blacks? Matter of fact, do we have any Team Greens in the building? I just want to know. Is there a Team Green representing? I know there's some Team Greens out there. No, no shame in the game, right? But y'all cool with Allison allowing someone to get off on her feet? Y'all cool with that? Y'all cool with Aegon? Y'all cool with Otto? Okay. Team Green, I guess. Team Black all day, baby. Oh my goodness. Let me get the chat ready. Let me get the link for you all so you can join me here. And then again, we do this every week. Anyone can join us live to share your thoughts on tonight's episode, which can't wait to hear what you all thought about it. So I'm gonna get the link. Thor, can you calm down, bro? Relax. Any pet owners out there? Any dog or cat or dragon owners? You love them, right? They just wild out. Come here, buddy. Come here. Say what's up to the people. All right. Let me get this link in the chat, y'all, before we can get our guests in here. Again, anyone and everyone's joined. Only thing I ask is you be respectful, obviously. Have a mic, have a camera, if you will. You don't have to share your face or whatnot, but just let's have some fun, y'all. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm getting the link again. If this is your first time tuning in, we do this live every single week where we invite a variety of different guests to join the conversation, and we're doing that right now. All right, I think I got the link. Let me go here. And again, everyone that's watching live, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, share the video, all that good stuff. I would much appreciate it. All right, I think this is the link here. All right, we should be Gucci. All right, links in the chat, y'all. The pinned link is in the chat. So let me pin that message. All right, so the message right now that's pinned in the stream or in the chat. Just click that link and you all can join tonight's conversation. Again, just be respectful. Again, let's have fun. And again, let's do the damn thing. Man, I gotta find that picture of Raynice, bro. Man, that was iconic. That was freaking iconic, bro. Oh man, that was so awesome. I just wish she would have said Jakaris, man. I just wish. I was hoping she said Jakaris, bro. I'll find the picture a little bit later. But shout out to Raynice. I'm gonna make her my profile picture, man. That was so iconic. So iconic. But what is everyone saying in the chat? We got some black. Again, if there's some Team Greens in here, ain't no hate. But like I said, OnlyFans for Renee, for Allison and Quentin Tarantino. Y'all be doing. G, man, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's happening?
Man, how you feeling, bro?
I'll geek. I had to stop in the reaction chat real quick, right? Cause I had just finished when y'all finished too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, bro, this was amazing. It took us a minute to get there.
Yeah.
But when it happened, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, yo, where's she going?
I was so if you saw the stream, and shout out to G. By the way, before we get into the conversation, G, why don't you introduce yourself, man, or reintroduce to the people out there and let them know who you are, where they can find you.
Yo, what's good? My name is G from Genato Reviews. I review movies, TV shows, and anime on my YouTube channel. Also got a podcast called The Why I'm Geek Show, where me and my homie discuss similar things to what you will see on my channel, and just go back and forth. And it's just a lot of fun. So I appreciate y'all, and I'm ready to get into this thing, man.
Let's get into it, man. Just and then we got my man Johnny. What's going on, Johnny?
Hey.
Wow. What's good?
There's a beast under the floor, Johnny.
Melise is like, you are not leaving without me. You are not leaving without me. You can't get rid of me that easily.
Man. It was the smirk. It was the smirk for me. That's what did it.
It was the whole look, the smirk. I mean, I said I do wish you would have said Jakaris, but
yeah, she would have ended the whole series right there.
She could have in there. She could have, but she said no more shot.
Yeah. No more dancing dragons.
Yeah. Johnny, man, before we get into the discussion tonight, man, why don't you introduce yourself to the people out there?
I'm a screenwriter and filmmaker from San Diego. Padres, yes, finally. And I am starting the YouTube channel Quantum Entangled. Not up yet, but working on the branding right now. It is up, but it's not. There's nothing there yet. So news on that soon, maybe by next week, hopefully.
Nice. The Padres, they beat the Dodgers.
That's right.
I'm so behind them in baseball. I'm a Yankees fan. They won tonight. They kept their season alive tonight.
They, have been kind of like the little brother to the Dodgers for a long time, and just been beaten on relentlessly for many years. And even this year, they lost every single series to them. But it was finally their breakthrough, and this city. I don't live in San Diego, but this area is going crazy. Last night was absolute bonkers in downtown San Diego.
That's awesome, man.
What do you think was more crazy, San Diego or Tennessee?
Tennessee, definitely after what I saw what they did with those goalposts.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Threw them in the river.
Listen, man, my forte is starting up in a couple next week, NBA, or this week, next week, and this week, one of these weeks.
It's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Got to get them drafts in.
Yeah, see what we got going this year. But listen, let me just toss
Who
to
do
you
you
first.
follow, Elliot?
In the NBA?
Yeah.
That's tough, Johnny. So I'm a Kobe fan, ride or die,
Okay.
Lakers. So kind of naturally, I don't root for the Lakers per se, but
Sure.
always keep an eye out on them. But I love the sport and the game, and I love how the
Sure.
Warriors play. So I've been kind of a Warriors fan
Okay.
for a little under 8 years now. I just love the way they move the ball and obviously score the ball and slash those threes. So I would say Warriors. And then after that, it's just kind of
It's a players' league.
Yeah, just but Kobe all day. So, but listen, y'all, G. Start us off, man. How are you feeling about this episode? General opinion on it before we get into the nitty gritty.
I mean, I feel like it was like it's like been a perfect storm. I don't know, like from the way it started to the way it ended, like it's two different levels. Like, oh, in one moment you got like in the beginning, it's like it's dead silent.
Yes, slow and somber. The birds are chirping. There's a
Right.
king that's dead. Yeah.
Right. And then at the end, it's just chaos. And it's just it's so good. It's so good. So that's my initial take. But I just, I love the show. I love it. I love it.
Before tossing to you, Johnny, I just got to ask you. I mean, we've been watching Game of Thrones for 8 seasons, and normally the 9th episode tends to be that one episode. Did it live up to the expectations for you, G?
Yeah, it did. It did. It was more so like I don't know. I'm in shock still. I don't know. It's living up to it, but like that moment sold it for me. But like I said, like before that, I was like, okay, I'm peeping game what's happening, and knowing that it's going to be more seasons to come. I'm still super excited, but it's a good send off to the finale. I feel like because last episode felt like this one was finna be a finale, but this was a lot more set up.
We got dragons to look forward to next week.
So I'm geeked, bro. I'm geeked.
Johnny, man, talk to me. How are you feeling in this episode? Did it live up to the traditional 9th episode spectacle, the intrigue, the drama, the tension, or was it a little bit lacking for you in that department?
It was a little bit lacking, and I broke my streak of this is the best episode so far because it wasn't. It's and I get tired of the term of filler episode. I don't think anything's a filler episode with the show, but I think it was more of a setup.
Yeah.
And it was a setup to what's going to happen next week, and that really got me at the end. I didn't think that was going to happen, and
neither did the team green.
Yeah. And by the way, what the heck is Loras and the Queen doing?
They got an agreement.
It's a little bit more than fetish.
Yeah. Shout out to Quentin Tarantino, who made a cameo in tonight's episode. Did not expect that at all. And listen, OnlyFans are about to go crazy, guys, because the feet fetish-ish people out there are going crazy tonight. I share.
There's gonna be all these gifs and all these close-ups on Olivia Cook's feet.
Yeah, which I'm not a feet guy. I mean, they were nice, but I mean, that was a little bit overboard. That caught me way off guard.
We were wondering what he wanted from her, and today we got our answer. So
man, who does he work for? Is it the white worm? Because this and one of the big, and we'll get to that. But one of the moments we've been talking about for the last weeks is like, is he really secretly working with Otto? Is Otto the one calling these shots? But as we found in this episode, no, he doesn't answer to Otto. He threw one under the bus actually in this episode. But man, that feet fetish is something else.
Yeah,
but
that threw me. I was like, we went left.
I didn't know what I was watching.
Way left.
I'm like, oh, it's just anyway. I share a lot of your sentiments, Johnny. This episode wasn't as great as the previous ones. Like, yes, it's been really ramping up, and there's been great moments. Of course, there's iconic moments that we'll talk about tonight, but the visual effects threw me off in this episode. Whenever we got the crowds, and then you could just tell they were just digitally added. Some of the backdrops, the sweeping shots were a little lacking. I would assume because we're going to get a lot of dragons next week, so the budget, they got to take some shortcuts every now and then. But, when you're HBO, you hope they don't, cut corners. So that was kind of noticeable. Aegon's performance in this episode, again, knowing he's a brat, he's a freak, he's a perv, all that stuff, but his performance was really him and his brother, that little fight that they had, or not fight, but the little, tussle they had, and even the brothers and Cole, that scene stands out to me like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt so out of place.
Yeah.
But minus that, Olivia Cook, this was, and shout out to Team Green out there, because there was no Team Black besides obviously Rhaenys, but
Right.
Olivia Cook was great in this episode to me. She still shows that she has a little bit of humanity and care for Rhaenyra. She kept bringing her up, what's going to happen. She didn't want to kill her, but also she spoke up to her father for the first time ever, and telling him, I'm not a little girl anymore. You're going to take my orders. And he's, yes, my queen. So shout out to her. But then she took an L with the feed thing, because she's still serving men, which, Rhaenys told her, it's, you listen to your father, you're, the king and your sons, but she ultimately still is listening to men. But she was great. Olivia Cook was great in this episode. But let's just jump right into it, Johnny, starting with you as we open the episode. As G pointed out, it's sad, it's quiet, there's a lot of birds chirping in the background because there's a lot of spies going around at this point, but the king is officially dead. And Alicent, she loved him. We can all admit that she did love him, as we open up the show here. But Johnny, take it away, man, as we open up the episode. How did you feel? Did you feel the remorse, the grieving of the king being gone?
I felt like it was like the morning before something. I felt that they were setting it up for it's the morning before something is going to happen,
right?
With all this
before the storm,
the calm before the storm. Yes, I was kind of wondering with the whole little kid thing, if that was an allusion to Aegon doing that as a kid.
Yeah, I thought it was Viserys as a kid at first. I was just like, maybe we.
I was thrown off with a little kid. I still don't know. I guess that's it's probably one of Masera's spies, and because she went up to the one main spy. But yeah,
but it was just so quiet and calm, and everything's lovely, and it's about to hit the proverbial fan.
Yeah, I agree. G, man, how'd you think about this kind of, again, a little slower moment of, again, just acknowledging the presence of the king no longer being there? And I'm not a Team Green, y'all know, but we can understand Alicent's perspective. And again, she's sad, man. She just learned that her husband died. She did have love for him. And your thoughts, man?
Yeah, so y'all know last week, man, I said I wasn't buying Alicent.
Yeah,
I'm still not. I'm still not.
Team Green in here, I guess. One Team
but
Green.
I can admit that she's not just a fiend, but she still cares.
Yeah, still a human. Yeah,
she still has that side to her, but it's still, I feel like it still gets overshadowed when it comes to like when she actually steps into the world. When she's by herself, you can see that she has those moments, and even with the help person, I forgot her name, but like even then you could tell it's like she probably does confide in her a little bit, at least at some standard. But I just wanted to say this is my first time watching like a Game of Thrones like live, like every week by week.
Oh, so nice. I didn't know that. Okay.
So when you said earlier, like, does this live up to week 9?
Previous 9, yeah.
I don't think I really understood. I was like, I mean, like I watched them all at once, so it was like I was just like in it. So I like that hype never kind of went away.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. But like as far as the opening, it did feel like they set the mood of like it felt cold to me. Like it was dark, and it felt like people really have remorse for the king, and they actually did love the king despite what he looked like and what he did and things he didn't do. But Alicent herself, like there's too much conflict in her actions and then what she say. So I'm still not really rocking with her, but I can acknowledge that like she has a soul at least,
right?
But when it comes to when it's up, it's up. So I'm excited for her to really step into that role if she running the show now for real. So
yeah, no, I agree with you, man. There is still, human inside of her to still care. She's still, she's a mother, even though her children are pretty out there, especially Aegon. But yeah, this moment, and we talked about it last week, the misunderstanding of, you can kind of understand where she could have misunderstood the king with, Aegon needs to be on the throne or whatnot. And you still, I think it's the thing for me is Olivia, and we got more Team Greens. I love it. I love it. But it's the performance that Olivia's given us. It only takes one. Yes.
Here they come.
They coming in. Team Green, I guess. It's Team Green. So y'all cool with y'all cool with the feet fetish and your king. All right, Team Green. Shout out to Team Green. Listen, we ain't gonna start a war in the chat. But yeah, no, I think Olivia Cook for me is really conveying a torn individual who has been controlled her whole life by her father, who has been manipulated in a sense, who's gained some power, who's gained some insight, but she still has her like G just mentioned, she's still a caring person, but to what extent? When will she just say, you know what, enough's enough? This is gonna be the death of one of her children, a death threat to her, which we got tonight. Maybe this is the point where she will go to that more villainous side. But I thought she was great in this episode, Johnny.
Yeah.
And again, just her remorse and her care and her telling her father that the king's last breath was that Aegon to be on the throne.
Yeah. She really believed it, man.
She did. And you can't blame her. Can't blame her, Johnny. Your thoughts on that, man?
There was like a wide variety of a really well-varied performance from her in this episode. From kind of anguish to stepping up for herself, especially when she was talking to her father, and she came to the realization that she's been manipulated.
Yep.
Fine. And by him,
15 years. Yeah.
For all this time, and it's like, wow, it's about time that you figured that out.
Right.
But anyway, it was a really good performance by her, and it was kind of like heightened her character. And somebody pointed out in the chat, well, when she mentioned that when she showed anger that they're plotting against the king's choice, that showed me a lot about her character too.
Yeah.
I'm still Team Black, but I'm not wavering from Team Black, but I can see the Team Green side a little better now.
Yes, but and again, I know Corey seems to be the main Team Green representative here, and I appreciate it, Corey. You didn't see how she was so pissed in real life. Yeah, and actually just to that point, to pivot over to that and tossing it to you, G, just kind of get into that scene here. As Corey and a lot of us have said while watching the episode, she's like, no, as her father and even one of the Lannisters and couple other people were like, yeah, let's go ahead and just, the king's dead, let's get things going, let's kill Rhaenyra, let's kill Daemon, let's get this thing popping. And she's like, you have been conspiring against, and you feel that moment. Your thoughts, G, and can we just address the elephant in the room? Cole, can someone burn this man? Can a dragon just accidentally sit on him? Can he accidentally choke on his sword? Goodness,
I was rooting for that twin. I was rooting for the twins, man.
Yeah, those twins were. Yeah, that scene. We'll get to that scene. To me, was very kind of clumsy. But he slams the man's head. He's like, "Shut up, sit down." I'm like, come on, man. G, talk to me, man. Cole and that whole scene. Just talk to me, man.
All right, so starting with Cole, I don't get it. I don't understand him. Like what? Like it's starting to just get
annoying. It's not even like the way they write him. The character is like annoying.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, yo, like where is this animosity towards everybody but Alicent coming from? Because it's been a long time since she was whipped, right? Like, and I mean in the sense of like from Rhaenyra, right? Yeah. And like she done moved on. You the only one that's still like
ain't the villains.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, like the way he's ready to escalate things, it doesn't make sense. It makes for a good moment as far as like, okay, yeah, they not playing, right? As far as like this collective, even though I wouldn't say Kristen Cole is more so in that collective as far as like the council and what they were doing, but any slight to the queen, he ready to throw hands and stuff like that. So, I'm still not really messing with him. Even the way he walked over there, he should have known something was gonna happen.
But
Yeah, but as far as Allison, right?
Yeah.
It's done, like, I don't get it. Like, it comes down to Olivia Cook, right? She making me feel something because I'm so frustrated in like how, you know, she can be like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys were conspiring. What have you been doing this whole time?" Like, does she
Right.
not consider what she does to be conspiring against, the succession of Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of confused. I think it's more so that she was mad she was left out of the discussion more
Right.
so than the
Yeah.
discussion even happened,
Right.
because what have you and your dad been doing for the last 15 years?
Mhm.
Trying to prepare Aegon to take the throne, like you having these conversations in plain day, everybody already know how you feel about Rhaenyra. You feel like she don't deserve it and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's more so like, oh, y'all did this without me. So I got to make y'all take me seriously in this moment, and I feel like that's what we got here. So I don't think it's more so, I think she does care about Rhaenyra, obviously,
Yeah.
but
I mean, they just literally hours ago they were just hugging, and she called her
right,
the queen. So she clearly, yeah,
right. But I don't think it's enough to not have Aegon on the throne,
right.
obviously. So I
Those
think it's
things,
just more
yeah,
so she wants to do it where she doesn't feel as much guilt
yeah,
and she can still wear her 7 necklace and just be chilling. That's just how I feel about it.
yeah. No, I agree. Johnny, let's talk about it, man. Cole and people a lot of us are agreeing. He's a trash character, and life rightfully so on how it's written, but how it is written, I don't know. And again, going back to what G said, from going to 0 to 100, from that one episode when obviously Rhaenyra told him, "No, I'm not about to run off with you." Sure, you can hold that grudge for a while, but is that like that's the only thing we're hanging on right now, Johnny? I don't know if that's enough
Yeah.
meat for me to believe that this guy has went from this Prince Charming to now he's killing old people, old men behind, walking up behind people, killing them, and just having this hatred. I don't know, Johnny. Is the time skips that hurt the character? Do you believe this switch in the character?
I think it's more of a mix of the hatred that he has for Rhaenyra with the adulation that he has for the queen. If you can see when he's talking to her,
Yeah.
it's like
She's
he's just
using
like
that too as a weapon. She said,
he's so
yeah,
enamored, and he's like, even though he hasn't broken his vow with her, he
that
certainly
we
would.
know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is so enamored with her and so enthralled by the queen, and enthralled by her presence and her personage, that he is willing to do anything to anyone that opposes her.
Right.
And it's almost like he's like a dude on the rebound when he got rejected by Rhaenyra,
Yeah.
and then he rebounded toward the queen, and boy did he suck on like a parasite, like like one of those fish cleaning a shark.
Yeah.
He and he is he's whipped without he's whipped without the pee.
Yeah. And well said, Johnny and G. I don't know. I just feel like that from a writing perspective, I'm still not buying it. I think
Yeah.
that resentment for 10 plus years to still be mad of what Rhaenyra did. And then, I mean, come on, bro, you literally got an upgrade as far as I'm concerned,
Right.
as far as sure your heart was broken, but you're friends with the queen, and who else knows what they've been doing behind closed doors, because like Johnny alluded to, there's a line she says later on in the episode where it's like, show your love for me, your queen. That's not that's there's a little bit of subtext there. I don't know, I'm not saying romantically, but I think she knows that there might be an attraction there. There might be this idea of he's in love with powerful women. I don't know. We learned that there's some fetishes in this world, and one of them being feet. So maybe he's in love with her feet too. So who knows? But
feel
I don't
like
know. Yeah, go ahead, G.
I feel like it, like you said, like it comes down to those time skips, and like we compared
Yeah,
him to like how Cersei had the mountain, right? And I feel
right.
like it was because the mountain was this mindless beast. He could do things like this and we
Yeah,
wouldn't question it. But
exactly.
because, Kristen
He
Cole,
saw that other side of Kristen.
yeah, still looks like a clean cut person on
Right.
the outside when he does things like this, and has his like little evil guy moments. It doesn't feel like, you know it's like, yo, what's the real issue here? You
Right.
know, and because they haven't added anything to that, like maybe it's because he feels like, she might have elevated me. I am serving the queen now, but why didn't she make me head of the King's Guard or the White
Right.
Cloaks?
Right.
Maybe that's the issue, like especially in this moment right here, because this is all like, yo, I could take you out right now if I really wanted to,
Relentless.
type of energy.
Yeah.
So I think it has something to do with that. And maybe if, like, he had like a different look in, in during these time skips, if his hair was longer, if it was more like menacing and looked like more like a bad guy.
Yeah, more kind of yeah.
Yeah, that might help his case, but it's just unwarranted, no mercy, like,
Yeah.
type
And
thing. So
Tamara's comments here, she, and I totally agree with that. Yeah, I can understand the loyalty. He did. I mean, literally, he was going to kill himself the night of the wedding. But as Johnny and G said, and myself, I think that the time jumps to me just aren't making it believable for him, because again, he even killed Joffrey the night of the wedding. And again, just
right,
we've never seen that side of him. So
right.
I don't know. I don't like the character. We've spent too much time talking about him at this point because he's so annoying. But no, I think I don't know, man. I'm just not a Cole fan, and I think the character is just kind of underdeveloped. He's a little undercooked for me to see all these egregious actions that he's doing every single week. And he was absent for a couple weeks, but man, he reminded us that he's someone we do not like.
Yeah.
But loyalty, guys, Johnny, loyalty is put to question this episode, man. As we see, and correct me, Johnny, on this one. I can't remember the man's name, but he's not standing for it, Johnny. He's like, I will not stand for this treachery. I'm out. I'll see y'all.
Oh, the
Lord
Sir
Commander.
Harold, the Lord Commander of the King Guard.
He was out. Yeah.
Yep. And,
real one.
Yes.
It surprised me what ended up happening, of course, but I expected him to be by Rhaenyra's side during this upcoming war.
Eric, my man Eric, come on now. Come on, Eric. Come on, Eric. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Johnny.
At least somebody has a code of honor.
Yes.
And I thought that was quite large of his show of character, and I feel bad for what ended up happening to him later on, but yeah.
G man, what do you think about my man's loyalty? And I mean, obviously Cole Hothead could have probably did something if he wanted to, or Otto could have said something, but he stand by his morals, man, and said, I'm not going to stand by this nonsense.
Yeah, I think it was a power play. Just like you be able to just like, when we get a new king, I'll be back. I thought that was hard. I ain't gonna cap. But in the moment, I was more surprised that he, wasn't really with it, just because it's like, okay, the king is dead, the next one is up. Like I always considered him not necessarily to be on Rhaenyra's like bad side, but just like loyal to the crown, like more like an Okoye type of thing with the way she treated things in Black Panther. But I think it was a cool moment. It was like one of those things that made that moment feel real, like the tension in that moment, because somebody already died at that point,
right?
And it's like, oh, is it gonna be a bloodbath, And we haven't really seen Cole like lose a lot, so I'm like, dang, I wonder if old age would even catch up to him, or is he really like that,
Right.
So we haven't really seen him do too much except run after people, but it's sad to see him go.
Yeah, no, for sure. And speaking of characters to kind of keep an eye out for, or to really listen to what they're saying, Johnny, Helena, man, she's 2 for 2 so far in the show, or maybe 3 for 3. She said it a couple weeks ago, Johnny.
Yeah, I think she's 3 for 3 right now.
On the board, man. What's your thoughts on this character, man? And the what is it? The dreams of the dragons that she possesses, these prophecies of a sorts. Is it witchery? What's your thoughts, Johnny, on these prophecies? And
she's gifted in some way. I don't know if we're going to find out if it's hereditary or some sort of witchcraft, but she's got a gift.
Yeah.
And I'm paying attention to everything she says now. because of that. And she was right on with that, and I didn't know what that meant.
No, we do.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it, I mean, I thought it meant something about the rats, at first.
Right. Right.
Okay, the rats, get them out here to take care of the rats because they're under the floorboards, But no, it was something a little bigger, and she's definitely one to watch, and I hope that they develop this more in season 2.
Same, man, because we talked about it since pretty early on in the season. The lack of the supernatural elements that come from Game of Thrones lore, witches and White Walkers, all that different stuff beyond the wall. But she's someone we should definitely keep an eye out for. G, man, your thoughts on Helena and her presence moving forward?
I don't know the name of this actress, but she is good because
she is good at playing a off-filtered,
Because every time she talked, I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, and it's like, it didn't even hit me until later on. Like even in the moment when the dragon, I was so geeked that the dragon popped up that I wasn't even thinking about what she had said that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's cool that they're adding this element into it because it's just another thing to look out for in the show.
Right.
As far as like, what she is, I don't really know. She seems like she could have dreams, but if she had dreams or premonitions, she might be able to, be able to see it before it happens, type thing.
Right.
Like she didn't do nothing in the moment to counteract that, and she was there this time.
She was there. She could have been like, "Yeah, I'll see y'all outside. This is a beast."
Yeah,
but yeah, she was the
and a lot of times she's not there, so like it's hard to pay attention. I'm not gonna cap, because like the way that she speaks in this show, it's just like, yo, like she talking this way, but then the whole person the other way. It's just it's off-putting. So like, I don't know, it's hard for me to keep up sometimes with what she's saying, but I respect it though.
I was going to actually ask Johnny, do you all and everyone in the chat, and G and Johnny, do you think they're portraying like some kind of autism or something on the spectrum with her performance?
Possibly, but even then, some people with autism have certain gifts too. Sometimes some people with autism are mathematical geniuses.
Right.
So it might be something like that, but I don't think that we've discovered an autism that can tell the future yet. So it's got some sort of mystical undertones, and could be, maybe it's the Valerian version of autism.
Right. It's very interesting, and to this point here, to Nicole, that's a major secret weapon if you can predict certain things, right? Again, how long until someone listens to her? And I wonder if her mom will listen to her, if Aegon, she's been telling Aegon things, hence why he's leaving her in the middle of the night, because she's just what he assumes is babbling about nonsense. But that's a very big weapon to have on your side. And it's not like it's, she can only predict things that benefit her side. She's just telling you anything. So who's to say that she might, I don't know, join Team Green or Team Black at some point to cover her loyalty lies right now, because she has a husband who doesn't care for her and no one that listens to her. So who knows what relationship she's developed over the last 15 years.
And I think it just comes down to like seeing her more. Like, I feel like that'd be the main thing, because I didn't even put in the previous episode, I didn't even know like that was the sister at first, like until they went to the dinner. I thought she was one of the maids or whatever, because she was like, the children wanted to get dressed or whatever. I didn't even peep, like, because the Game of Thrones a lot of times can be dark and seeing, so like sometimes the way the light hits the hair, it just looked blonde, like regular blonde. So I didn't even peep that, but now I'm paying attention though, because
we all are.
She 4 for 4, so I can't just be
dismiss her.
Yeah,
man. Well, speaking of kind of dismissiveness of things going on, we have the mission at hand, which Aegon, his trash butt is missing. He's out in the street somewhere. The brother says, "Mother, I can find him. I know all his secrets or whatnot." And him and Kristen are on this mission, y'all. And listen, shout out to I'm not a Team Green representative, but Aemon is first perfect casting. He just looks like an anime character to me, man. Like he looks like he's just always up to something, and I'm loving this character so far. Much better than his brother, much better than Cole, mind you. Johnny, man, your thoughts on Eamon, and more importantly, Johnny, there's a couple lines in this episode in which he wants the throne. He knows his brother isn't capable and can be on the throne. Nor should he be on the throne. But is there a civil war brewing up between these two, Johnny?
I don't know that there's just now that Aegon has taken the throne. I don't know that Aemon is going to try to usurp him,
right.
take it away from him. But yeah, he's definitely more qualified by just the small evidence that we've seen, and he lays it out too. He lays out his whole. He lays out his resume for us.
Biggest dragon.
I get the biggest dragon. I train. I study the history. Yep. Meanwhile, my brother is out whoring and drinking too much, and doesn't care about anything and doesn't even want to be king. Right. I love the character. It also kind of like tips me more to Team Green when I see that character, because I just think it's perfect casting and perfect. I'm like, oh, this guy's a badass, and
right.
and he's like, he exemplifies everything cool about Game of Thrones to me.
It's just a look, man. Just the eye patch, little like half smart. Like I say, he looks like he's ripped out of a manga. Before we get my man G's comments on this, I got to welcome back a really awesome person and someone that shows a lot of love and support to the channel. And I'm so excited to get him back on talking about tonight's episode. To my man Justin, what's up, bro?
There he is.
Hey, everybody.
What's good?
Justin,
what's going on? Hey, man, what a great episode. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no worries, man. Better late than never, my friend. How are you feeling, Justin? And just jumping right into the conversation of Aemon and Aegon, the beef, all that stuff. Your thoughts? Take it away, man.
Hey, there's something about this show and the second sons. Like, I feel like every second born wants it. Like, and they're the one who wants it the most. Like, Cornelius. I'm sorry. The Valerians, the second son, he wanted it.
Oh,
Damien wanted it. Now this Aemon wants this. Like, man, what's it about being the second scene that you're just craving for power?
Right. It's a good point, man. That's a really good point. Vaemon, I think it was you were referring to earlier. Very good analysis there, man. What about you? Who did I go to first? Was it G? Did you get your chance to talk about Aemon, anime king himself?
Yeah, Aemon just looked like a dragon himself. Like he just like already It's perfect casting for him, and it's just like it's so crazy. Like like even when you look at like their facial structures, like Aemon is like a lot more sharp, like everywhere, versus like Aegon, who's like got a more round face and things like that. So maybe that's what they were trying to go for in the casting, because Aemon looks older than Aegon a lot of times.
And I think literally in the real world, they're like 7-year difference. Like Aegon is like 7 years older than the actual actor. So I think it was, and Justin, maybe you can allude to, because I know you've read some of the books. Was it that the case when Aemon looked younger than or older than his brother?
Yeah, he does. I know in the book they did describe him as being more of the look of the Targaryen. He looked more of just like the conqueror type. I've been going around saying he got that BDE energy, big dragon energy. That's what gives him the look right there.
Yeah.
Because just look at him, man. He's walking around like, I have the biggest dragon. I am the biggest dragon. Yeah. So they perfect casting. You're correct, Gene. Like he's spot on. I look at this guy like he's a threat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, G.
Except when Damon's in the room, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. But as far as like what he said in this episode, he's right in a lot of senses, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be a civil war. I think they have the opportunity to do what their father didn't, which was maybe Aemon becomes the hand or something like that, or like just like something that like their father
of his brother
failed to do.
Interesting.
So maybe that's the thing. I don't know if Aegon is that looking for. I think he's just geeked that people actually like him. Like at least that's what he thinks. Because we got to see how his reaction to that. Like we'll get into that later on. But I think it's cool that that Aemon was just like, willing to at least go get him. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have just been like, I ain't messing with him. He don't deserve it. Stuff like that. You could tell he still like cares about his family, and he's probably more Team Green than anybody else.
Right.
That in the cast.
He seems to be the only one that listened to Alicent's instructions to stand for, House Targaryen and Hightower. But yeah.
Right. And especially the way he grew up, like just getting bullied all the time. Like it's just a whole tonal shift when you get to like nowadays, even Cole respects him because he beat Cole in a duel.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it was practicing, but it was still like, so he gets that respect from him as well. And it was just, it was funny seeing like the stories he was telling about, what his older brother did for him type thing, because like he seen somebody from his past. So
he's as he put, sometimes you got to get what did he say? I don't remember the exact line.
It's like, he said something like that. So and then the shorty was like, oh my, have you grown? He's like, get me out of here. Keep it on Tyler. That was funny.
Which again, I hate to bring it up because obviously it is what it is, but the time jumps. That's another relationship that I would have loved to have dove deeper into as far as those two brothers and resentment, hate, friendship, bondship, brothership. I would have loved to have seen them kind of grow through the years, but it is what it is.
Especially when you got that dragon.
Especially when he got that dragon's whole energy, his whole, like my man Justin said, he got that dragon energy.
That training arc could have been dope.
Oh yeah.
But an anime, man. Like I said, he's a perfect anime.
He is a perfect anime.
Listen, man, we got a special guest in the back room. I'm gonna bring in who I had the luxury of speaking about one of my other favorite shows right now, which is Atlanta. And he's a big Game of Thrones fan, which I found out the other night. And he said, "Hey, man, I would love to talk Game of Thrones." And here he is, join us tonight to talk about it. What's going on, my man? How we doing?
What is happening, bro? Thank you so much for having me on. Pleasure to speak with everybody here. I just want to say something. Was I the only one that expected a little bit more out of an episode 9 Game of Thrones series?
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is
it was a little lacking in some elements. Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I say that is because like episode 9, season 1, we have Ned Stark being beheading of Ned. Yeah. Season 3, episode 9, we have the Red Wedding. Season 6, episode 9, we have the Battle of the Bastards. Like the episode 9s are always supposed to be a thing, and like it wasn't until the very end when I saw the dragon pop out of the pit, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" And then the episode ended, and I was just like, "Bro, what?"
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, we did definitely talk about that a little bit earlier. There were some moments that felt a little lackluster, but I'm a fan of you give me a good ending, I can forgive some of the shortcomings, which the ending was definitely fantastic, which we'll get into. But hey, man, before we get more into the discussion, why don't you introduce yourself, man? This is your first time coming on the channel, and let people know where they can find your content. We got some more Team Greens in here, and by the way, go ahead and let people know if you're Team Green or Team Black. Why you introduce yourself, my friend?
My name is Johnny Blakeweather. I am host of 2 podcasts, Unfiltered Bachelor Dating Relationship Podcast, and then also where I met Elliot, and we had him on this past Thursday, 9 Nerd Yards. Everybody go follow both channels. We break down Atlanta over there, and we had Elliot on, and it was just a hell of a show. And if you haven't seen it and you're a fan of Elliot, fan of MovieFiles, go check out the latest recap that we had Elliot on for. It was a bit longer, but it was like one of the best episodes that we had, and we had a great time. So, and you can come and follow me, Money Blakeweather, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Or you can follow Unfiltered Bachelor or 9 Nerd Yards on YouTube or your favorite podcast channel, anywhere podcasts are. That's where the show is. And for me, I'm Team Black, man.
There you go. You had me nervous there, man. I was like, man.
He's talking a lot of shit, but like, yeah, what team is he? We need to know this. Yeah, Team Black, man, all the way. Rhaenyra, she's my queen, right meow. So
yeah, man,
riding with her till the end.
Yeah,
but yeah, I enjoyed the storyline of this episode. I know sometimes this can the shows are very much like it's either a lot of story building or it's a lot of action in one way. And I was like, I get it. It's a lot of story. And here we go with some dragon stuff. Also, did anybody else? I don't know if you caught this right, but beware the what was it the
beast under the boards.
beast beneath the boards. Yeah. As
Yeah,
soon as I
we
saw that
actually
dragon
before you
come up, I
popped
was
in,
just like,
we were
oh my
talking
god,
about Helena and her prophecies, man. Yeah,
bro, that girl right there, man.
yeah. Listen to her.
Tough.
Keep her on the close ear by, because she's been prophesizing
Captions though.
Yeah, I need
Yeah,
those.
definitely need captions, because sometimes she's like there's a trend on TikTok, mumbling challenge.
She's a mumble rapper, yeah, for sure.
Right? Yeah, there's a beast. Go play with your Beatles. What did someone say? She's the three-eyed beetle. Who said that earlier? Here it is. Nicole. Let's go ahead and coin that.
That's right.
Three-eyed. I love it. I love it. But Justin, man, I'm gonna toss it to you on this one, bro. What did you think about this particular line on? And again, a little line, but I'm just curious on you guys' thoughts on the woman here saying that Aegon has he has a taste, right? He has a particular type. We know that he's very forceful in his secret deeds, or it's not really a secret. But did you all peep the trailer, Justin, last week? There was a shot in the trailer that it alluded to Aegon might have a bastard son out there. We didn't get that shot in tonight.
We
got it. It was there. It was there.
Was that?
With the twins, yeah, they were
it was
looking
quick.
for.
Oh, I must have missed it.
When they first got in there. Yeah, when they
Okay.
first got in there, it was like panning through like all the things while they were explaining it.
Okay, I must have got to watch
one of the brothers points to it. He's like, "Look over there," and you see the same shot that you saw in the trailer. It's kind of a glance and you'll miss it type thing.
Yeah,
and the brother was like, "Ain't no way."
Yeah,
one of many.
Yeah.
But Justin, man, your thoughts on this and this whole situation going on at the brothel house?
He's an entitled brat. He knows he can get it. He's going to do it. I always assume he likes some innocent and young. Like I just something, especially because the way he went about that other
He likes to be more forceful and kind of doesn't, and takes versus being given. Yeah,
exactly. I do like that scene was kind of weird because I know the brothers. I really did like seeing the dynamic where the best I can describe them is there's Eric with an E and Eric with an A, and I know one of them was closer to the high towers and the other one's more of a to Rhaenyra. But he was like, "What are we fighting for again? Like this guy kind of sucks. Like he's down here with these that are fighting,
right?"
And then now, like, I think as it was, he didn't know too much about the Prince Aegon. But the more he was there with his brother, like the less he liked. Like I don't really like this guy at all.
Yeah.
And to hear like his taste run a certain way, it's like, man, what the hell am I looking for?
What you mean about it?
I'll go for the second brother. If I have to go for one, I'll go for the other one.
I agree. Yeah. Johnny, man, your thoughts on this particular scene here, man?
I was kind of surprised, really, when with the twins and everything. Also, so
brothers, yeah,
really gets just kind of got lost a little with the whole thing, and I think they said something a little different from what was in the chat during the recap of the episode of who they were for and everything. As far as Aegon's predilections, turns out, of course, they didn't really know where he was. So, it just kind of seemed to be a little bit meandering at one point.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to that point, tossing it to you, Money. One of the scenes that I did not necessarily enjoy was a scene a little bit later in the episode in which we see this kind of scuffle amongst the one of the twins taking on Cole, and then obviously Aemon fighting. Well, not fighting, but he was trying to get his brother. I don't know, man. Money. How did you feel about this scene? Was it a little clunky, little lackadaisical for you, or did you enjoy those moments with those two? The brothers scuffle.
I was confused because one of the brothers just sort of didn't partake, and it wasn't until it's confusing to watch until you think about it after the fact that one of the other, whichever one, Eric, whatever one it is, I'm about as confused as Susie Long is here in the comments. But you see the one go and try to help Rhaenys out and take her out and try to get her out of the city. I was just very thrown off. I'm like, well, why is he not helping? And like, why is this dude fighting so hard? Like you realize that like after the fact, like they just have two different sets of like values of like who they're backing or like what the hell they're fighting for. Like they don't like one of them kind of know, and the other one's like, bro, it's kind of stupid. And also like, who the hell wants to fight Kristen Cole, bro? You saw him beat Damon and when he was 16 years younger, bro. Like, why are you trying to go fight this guy? But also like, you kind of don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And then the fact I think I rather enjoyed. I don't think the payoff is in this episode, and I don't think I think it's going to be more of a buildup when you have the Aemon character taking down Aegon and sort of like overpowering him, because I think that's just the setup for like not anything that'll pay off in this season, but something that'll pay off. Yeah. It's just sort of a slow burn. We see it now. Like that dude doesn't like his brother. Like, and it's not that he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't like him for the fact of like, you're my brother and I don't like you. It's that he's like envious, right? He's like, I know what you have and you need, like, bro, if only you knew. And the dude's like, I really don't give a shit. But he's like, it's like trying to shake some sense into your friend. It's like, bro, stop dating this girl. Like, stop it, you know? You can't do it. But like, it for me, it was like, I don't know. It did seem a little clunky, but it's also, I don't think the payoff is in the scene. I think it's the buildup of like what's to come. Yeah.
I agree. Justin, did you have something to add to that, my man?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the brothers, you can definitely see where they're coming from, where one's completely committed to the cause and the other one's learning more and more and liking less and less. I did find it weird too, because one, you're twin, your brothers. Of course, you're always going to have your brother's back. You're in the same guard, so it's like your brother in arms. And he was like, no, I'll stick back. I'll just stand here and let you fight Christian Cole by himself.
That's crazy.
I'm sure Christian Cole could have taken on both of them. Maybe it wouldn't have been the easiest to fight, but he probably could.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know anything about the two characters other than they look alike. I don't know their fighting prowess. And then to see, like he said, he's trying to talk sense to his brother, like, hey, you know, you have this responsibility. You should take it seriously. And the brother's like, I could give a rat's ass, man. And my dad doesn't really care about me. He every chance he got, he gave it to my sister. What am I fighting for? Yeah. But it is pretty crazy to see this kind of situation, especially in the family, where it's like you see on almost two parallels between the twins and then the actual brothers.
No one likes each other, man. None of these families, are, you know. Which, G, I want to get your thoughts on this, man, and of course across the panel. But I'm very curious on, you know, for the last few weeks, we've always kind of assumed that, you know, the queen or the King Beetle Man, Littlefoot here, Laris, was potentially working for Otto this whole time. But in this scene, G, we kind of find out, no, that isn't the case. And even more so, he throws him under the bus a little bit later. Were you just as shocked as I was to find out that he wasn't working for Otto?
I wasn't necessarily shocked. I never really thought he was working. I thought he was working for himself. I thought he had like a bigger plan that we would get privy to later on.
One of them was killing his dad and his brother a couple weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, what else does he have really to gain if like being in position is not what he wants? So, you know, I think at this point it's more so like trying to get as many favors as he can, you know, because even though he betrayed Otto in this moment, Otto don't really know that either, you know. So it's just like he's essentially trying to be on everybody's side. But you know, I think this whole like middle part of the episode when they're trying to find Aegon it don't really makes a lot of sense, because it's like they're fighting against each other, but they essentially both want the same thing. Right. You know, and for it to not lead to like, Allison did tell him like right before he was about to go on stage or whatever, like, yo, like you have to be merciful toward Rhaenyra, and your grandfather is going to try to sway you this way or that way. But it's like, if that's not already in him at this point, it's, you know, it's never going to happen. So I was more so confused as far as like, you know, it's a race to get the same person. Yeah. But I don't know why they was even really fighting for real. It's just like they're not getting no reward. Like if this person gets them, everybody's still gonna be on the same stage together. You know, like it'd be different if Rhaenyra or like somebody else was trying to get them like from the opposite side of the fence. But you know, I think it's just strange. I'm still waiting to see what the bigger play. As far as like right now, it's more so like it's just self-serving at this point from him.
No, I agree. Justin, man, your thoughts on Mr. Quentin Tarantino, foot fetish king here, and his loyalties and where they lie, man. Where are you at with it?
I'll agree with G. He's in it for himself. He's trying to play all corners of the all angles here. I think if it serves him best, he's gonna go for it. I don't know what his game plan is, which is probably describes how good he is. The fact that we're on the outside, we can see almost every aspect, and we still can't figure it out.
Right.
I thought for a second there that Otto wanted to kill Aegon just for the fact that he was like, hey, you bring him to me directly, and then I'll decide from there what was going to happen. And then Anderson may have been more like, I know for a fact what my dad wants. He wants somebody he can control him as more ruthless as he is, which is, of course, Aemon. Yeah. That's what I kind of got from that, especially when they were fighting. And why would you send two different groups if you're from the same side, so to speak?
Interesting. Johnny, your thoughts on that before we get there, man? I want to welcome back returning guests. We got a full house tonight, man. My man Lyon's bringing him back to fire. What's going on, my man? Oh, getting the mic situated.
Sorry, I forgot to mute. I got to send the screen. So what's going on? Is everybody doing?
Doing good, man. We're just talking this episode, talking about feet fetishes and kings dying and brothers fighting each other, man. Same Game of Thrones stuff.
No, we see that the reach of OnlyFans is in the medieval times.
Started from here.
Crazy.
Shout out to Tarantino, man. But Lion, man, how did you feel about just your initial thoughts, and then we'll toss it back to my man to get his thoughts on Laris. But what did you think about this episode overall, man?
I loved the episode. I was glued to it. Even at the end, I was surprised by everything that was happening, and I kept wanting this episode to be a little longer, just because I wanted more. Yeah, it's bittersweet because next week is the end of the season, but it's man, now you gotta wait a year, maybe 2 years to get another season. So
I'm thinking
that's stuff about it.
Yeah, I agree. But going back to I think Johnny, man, I want to hear your thoughts on Laris and surprise or not surprised that he wasn't maybe being controlled by Otto. And I guess the question is, if it's not himself doing this moves, is it the White Worm? Is it someone else that we haven't met yet?
I think he's a free agent. I think he's kind of like the Varys of the show, and I was surprised that he wasn't being controlled by Otto, because I thought he was working with Otto.
Yeah,
that really did surprise me that he wasn't working with Otto. But I think he's on his own. I don't think he's with the White Worm, because he tried to turn in her spy, or he wants to dismantle that network.
Right.
So I don't think, I think he's a free agent. I don't know what it's just for him, whatever he can do to better himself. And keep looking at those feet.
Those feet got to him. Money, man, talk to me about, and then we're going to toss it over to my man Justin after that, but talk to me about this scene here. We talked about a little bit earlier, but, and we're going to talk about her obviously at the end, but Rhaenys not taking the words from Alicent. And what a great scene, number one, but your thoughts on how this all played out, and did you think for maybe a split second, Money, that she was going to take the bait and maybe side with Alicent?
Hell no, bro. Like this woman's been around the block, bro. She's been passed up for. Yeah, she's been passed up for queen. Like she like. I think of Rhaenys as like just like an old G that's just kind of been around the block, bro. You're not gonna show them anything new that they don't already know. You're not about to like play them. You're not about to do something they don't want to do. Then they'll put themselves in position and they'll get themselves out of position. And they'll stay in a position long enough just to learn like what the hell is really going on. And Rhaenys is, I mean, if you haven't read the book, but like, not to give anything away, but like she's always struck me as soon as I saw her as like just as a bigger player in all of this. And like there's not going to be a whole bunch that's going to like go unnoticed by her. And she stayed long enough to gather all the information she needed and didn't leave a second sooner.
Right.
And on her exit too, even left with like, I don't need to kill you, I just need to threaten you.
Yeah.
Right. With the dragon, as soon as like, you know, Allison gets in front and it's just like, is the dragon gonna breathe fire? No, he's just yelling. Like, that's just a threat. Like, it's just like, I don't need to end you with like dragon fire. Like, I know how to end you a different way. Right. Yeah. She's just like, let's mount. Like, let's get out of here. And that's how
That's
like,
hard.
you want a gangster on the show? Like, we get it in the form of Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I will say, and tossing to you, Line, I will say I'm glad that Rhaenys is carrying the House Valerians right now, because Corlys is definitely taking the L for me so far this season. I don't know if we'll see him again, probably not in the finale, but I was hoping for a lot more from him. But his wife is definitely picking up the slack.
Yeah, certainly. Rhaenys surprised me this episode, because through the whole show, it has felt as she's always been the second fiddle to everyone in her life.
Yep.
From her husband, her cousins, even when she had that conversation, episode 1, I think it was Rhaenyra.
Yeah, she went asunder. Yeah.
You know, you could never be queen, you know, because you're just a woman. So in this episode, we saw how strong she is, what she's capable of. Because I was not expecting her to come out of the floor. Like, this was out of nowhere. She could have ended everything in that particular moment and saved. I
was hoping for Dracarys. I was just like,
listen, she could have saved, if we break the fourth wall, like She-Hulk, the WP, a whole lot of money in seasons. Show something right there.
The whole monitor. That sounds crazy.
That was funny. Johnny, man, how do you feel about this scene? And like opposed to Money, did you think for just a second that, because she was playing it coy, she was playing to her hand, just like thinking that she was on the fence or not. Did you think for a second Rhaenys was going to bend the knee?
I thought for a second that she would, but like it was like, I'm not even going to say a second. I'm going to say a split second.
Yeah, just like,
and then when she just pulled her hands away, I was like, oh wow. It's
I was feeling you
now.
Right, you thought I was feeling
you. Well, yeah. Here we go. It's on. She's going to get out of there, and this is going to be a war, because I knew that she was going to escape somehow.
Yeah, it was very, and we'll get to that scene. Obviously, it reminded me so much of Arya, kind of within the crowd, or watching Ned Stark, and she was just kind of there peeping. But you know, like you all have been saying, she's 10 steps ahead. She was like, you know, I'm gonna listen to this. Yep, okay, I'll save. Put it down. I'll be right back. Let me go. But yeah, she's just great.
Yeah, she's always been one of my favorite characters in the show so far.
She's great. She was annoying for a couple weeks there, because it kept her and her husband just kept talking about, you should have been a queen. Should have been queen. Is there more to you guys' character than just talking about that every day, all day? But there definitely is. Justin, man, your thoughts on this scene between these two, and did you think at all, my friend, that Rhaenys was going to maybe take a little bite of the apple?
No, not for a second. Honestly, I was like, no, she's not a pawn by no means is that, and she knows she's a kingmaker. Everybody comes to her because if she can back them, they have no more legitimacy. You know, Rhaenyra did it last week. She's doing it this week, and she's like, you're not gonna. You know, I already made almost. I don't want to say make my bed, but like I made my choice, and she's told them we're not fickle with our choices. We're not gonna be like 1 week this, another week that.
Flopping, yeah.
She's not gonna do it. But I did think she wanted to hear. The more she talked, the more information she got. So she was like, you know what, you know, let me just hear you out. And I think she would have respected her more had Alicent wanted to be on the throne. Like, you're doing all this for somebody else to sit on it.
Facts.
You're not worth my time.
She called her out too. You listen to all the men. You listen to your dad, your brothers. Well said, Justin. Definitely agree with you there. Which, listen, G, I want to start with you on this one, man. Then we're gonna go to Johnny after that. All
right.
What's up with this character here? First off, I'm just gonna call it what it is. The accent is absolutely horrendous. It's a mixture of like Wakandan mixed with New Orleans Southern dialect. I hate the accent. I hate it. The direction they gave her, and I'm sure it's a meaning to it, especially from book readers. Maybe she comes from a certain town, that's how they talk. I hate it. Putting that aside, this is a player we should be keeping an eye out for. G, talk to me about the White Worm.
Yeah, so the White Worm, we haven't gotten a lot of the White Worm, but she's been moving and shaking this whole story from the jump. You know, from Damon going to her when he first got back, you know, to this moment, selling, getting some bread for Aegon, and more so building a relationship. Yeah. So I think it's, for me, her character is more so like what do you want? That's my main thing with all these characters. Like, what is your main thing? Yeah, your motive, right? So seeing her just go toe to toe and not feel like she's any lesser than like Otto, and as far as like power, right? Because she got the power of the people. You know what I'm saying? So
in the fights on the
right. So it's interesting to see that with us not really like seeing how she really runs things, because it's all in the shadows. And like just seeing like the network of like her spies, and wanting to see like, okay, how deep do they run,
right?
And in different aspects of it, because the spies are the ones that get all the information. They can spread a message just as much as they can tell one.
Right.
So I'm super interested in her character, and how her and Otto continue to conversate in the coming future, because this was tough to me. She was like, hey, I was like, hey, get her this bread real quick.
But I also want a little bit of that bread, and you're gonna stop all the nonsense going on. She's for the people, man. Again, I hate the accent, but I'm very intrigued with this character so far. Johnny, man, your thoughts on the White Worm and why she's important moving forward?
She has the pulse of what's happening outside of the keep.
Just for the people.
She's on the street. She's a person on the street that knows what's happening outside of the keep and inside of the keep.
Right.
I think she's going to be very important to for strategy, and for knowing what's the feeling of the pulse of what's happening, and to know what's going on with in and out of that keep. And I'm looking forward to more development of the character too. I wish that we would get some explanation as to the accent too, because it kind of bothers me a little,
bro.
Like, tell me like it's like some sort of like the Free City accent, by way of.
I hope it's
by way of Dothraki or something. I don't know.
You could tell she really has to think about like when she's saying everything, like to make sure she keeps it in pocket.
Yeah. So it's like, why, let's just like maybe just maybe she can take some dialect courses over the next time jump. We'll probably have a small time jump, and
oh man,
I don't know if that's a real accent or not. In the chat, ZSS, if that's a real, I don't think that's a real accent. There's not any that I've ever heard on Earth so far.
It's like I said, man. It's a southern, New Orleans with a little. She sounded like she was talking like she was from Wakanda too, with certain ways she pronounced things. I'm like,
she made it this far, man. Hey.
She's from Wakanda by the bayou.
She's yes, very much so. Lion, talk to me, man, about this white worm and plans and goals, and do you think this character, so far where she's come to where she could be headed, is she someone should be keeping an eye out for?
So first of all, kudos to you. I think you brought out last episode, because I didn't catch it last episode. The importance of her character, her being the spy master. I didn't think too much about her. I thought she was going to be more of a minor role going forward. And this episode, she definitely got her, we got our morning sport with her, because she had the key, which she had Aegon in her possession. And she had a noble cause. She wanted to stop the kids from being in the fighting pit. I was surprised by that. It wasn't something about, I want more power, I want this. No. And we stopped the kids from fighting. So it was a noble cause. I don't think she may not be a threat going forward, because we saw a building that's burning later on in the epised.
Yes.
And we know Larry's weapon of choice is fire. He burned his brother, he burned his father.
Yeah.
And he was asked by Allison, can you handle this? He said yes. And right after that scene is when we see that guard walking out and the building on fire. And I'm like, who's there? Was that the spy master?
Yep.
So that's something that one of my viewers called out, like, wait, I didn't even realize that this could have been it. So that's something that she may be gone going forward.
I hope.
I don't think
I swear to
I don't
God,
think she'll
that
go
better
out
not
like
be the
that.
case. I would hate
Yeah,
if they did that.
I'm with
Please.
Lion. I thought she was dead. Like I thought that
Nah.
really?
implied
Nah.
that she died because that was her building.
I mean, very much, definitely
mean-
her building. But if they kill her, I would hate that, because why even show this? Why even build it
Right.
up to this point to just kill her
There's
off?
no way they even get that close without her knowing or
There you go,
like
Gene. That's
being
It's
able
hilarious.
to like, huh? It's Varys, but like she been doing
He's
this.
good.
You know what I'm saying? Like Varys really started like, you know, or Larys just started you know, getting more play once he took his peoples out the mix. Right. So she got it from the mud, you know. Every corner she got somebody like looking.
Yeah, right.
So I just feel like we didn't see
saw it coming.
like crazier things in Game of Thrones of people being able to escape
Oh,
out of
factual,
a
that's
burning
fine.
building or like, you know, getting
That's
out
true.
of the mix. So I feel like if they did that, it would have been like, okay, that was a waste, you know. But
Yeah.
She said something that was very important too. That I was like, it brought me back to Game of Thrones, because one thing that I was, you know, I was thinking Larys was equals to Varys in this show, but Larys is more of a little finger. And then she said something that was key. She said when she was talking to Otto, I think I made a note of it, that there is no power but the one that the people allow you to take, which is very similar to what Varys says to Tyrion. That the power resides on where the people really have the power. So that was such a callback to me, at least my impression of it, to Game of Thrones, establishing her as that master of secrets as Varys was in Game of Thrones.
Well said. Great point out there too. And listen, if she is, if we're alluding to she died or is dead, you know, we talked about a few weeks ago that she might be that red witch potentially, right? There might be a little bit of that supernatural, so she survives a burning building or whatnot. If they go that route, I really hope that she is still alive. And if she is in that burning building, maybe her vocals have been changed. They've been crisp. They've been burned, and she can come out speaking a lot differently.
She's gonna have a new face.
She comes out with a whole new face, new voice. This is Elizabeth Olsen. This is the role she's going to be playing in season 2. That big role that went wild a few weeks ago. Money Man, talk to me about the White Worm and you know, mentioning you think she died, man. Talk to me.
Now that I'm like hearing y'all's thought, like this is definitely one of those Game of Thrones like sort of sleight of hands where it's just like, hey, we're gonna show you this thing, and then like 5 episodes later, a season later, 2 seasons later, the character pops back up, and you're like, oh, they've been doing surprise, you know, like they've been doing things, and you're like, oh my god, what? Like super throwback Game of Thrones. So I you know what, like. Perhaps they got me. I got y'all. Like, I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, I might have gotten got, but like, I think to Lion's point, like, she is the Varys character. Larys is the Littlefinger character by far and bar none. Like, it's as soon as I saw him go up there, and you know, like he's just kind of. It's not about controlling the throne when you control the people on the throne. Like for Larys's point, like you don't. If you're the only person on a chessboard with the queen, you don't need to do a whole bunch else. You know what I mean? Like you can just do a lot with that. But with her, I think she's vying for the same thing, and I think it's funny that we have 2 of the opposites. Like you sort of have two polarizing factors on both sides. She might be the people's R version of what Larys is. Like everything that Larys is not, she is. And she you know, she sort of tips the scales and tips the balance, like of like balances out. Like, okay, we got a bad person in Larys who likes to, you know, touch himself and watch people's feet, and then we have her who's sort of like, hey man, like there's a morality to her. We're meant to hear that, like, I don't want pit fighting in my city. I don't like this. I don't like kids fighting. Like we're meant to sympathize with her for a reason, and we're meant to not sympathize with Larys for a reason. And we're meant to see him in the same episode. So I think she's sort of like a counterbalance to that character. And like, as long as she's in play, like if she's in play longer than Larys, like give me that all day long. So I as somebody in the comments, I think said that she plays a bigger role in like the book. Yeah. We hope that the storyline stays the same in the TV show, because I enjoy her, and I think it's great to see her come up since being a side piece for Damon, and now she's like running the city. So it's like,
she was supposed to marry that man for a second there.
I mean, Larry's may have to return that sock. Larry's probably got paid for his sock. He's gonna have to return it. She's alive, so that's what's gonna happen.
It could just be a message being sent too. You know, you never know, because like we don't know if she lays her head, where she do business type thing. So like,
good point.
It could just be a warning as well. So
it's a couple warnings in this episode, G. So yeah, definitely might be onto something there, man. It's just, again, I'm excited to learn more from her. It's hard to trust someone with that type of accent, but we'll see what comes of it. But Johnny, I want to get your thoughts on a scene that I think was we talked about the performance by Olivia Cook, but the moment that she actually stands up for herself and her father and say, listen, Dad, you got me on the throne, but you're going to take my orders. Your thoughts on the scene between mother or say daughter and the tables have turned, because the last time they spoke on screen, just them two, it was him telling her demands, and now the tables will turn.
Am I the only one that thinks, hey, yeah, this is about time that you figured this out?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she was really, really young when he first roped her into this, and she got involved in this. So it's taken many, many years for her to figure out how she was used. I thought that was great character development for her, and like I said, it makes me tilt a little more toward Team Green, but I'm still Team Black all the way. But I thought it was good development for her. She's got it figured out. She knows that she's been used by her father. She got that speech from Bernice earlier, telling her, that, hey, everybody, all these men in your life are manipulating you, and including Laris, of course. She really showed up in this scene and did a lot for her development.
I agree, Justin, man. Talk to me about Allison. And we talked about her briefly earlier, Justin, just to get your thoughts on, I think you cast an Olivia Cook because you can sympathize with someone like her. She's able to convey this gravitas of, again, she's doing despicable things. Just a couple weeks ago, she wanted to get a kid's eye out of his skull, which, that's, and killing kids is definitely not a good thing. But then at the same time, she still has that humane side to her about Rhaenyra. She talks to her dad and say, listen, I'm the queen, daddy. You gonna take my Your thoughts on Allison, man?
Yeah, this was a beautifully acted scene. It played a great balance of how far you're ready to go on this, because I think she talking to her father, and especially after having the talk from Rhaenys about like how much is being played and how much she's being used.
Right.
If finally start acting like a queen if she wants to put a king on the throne. That she was like, we still have to at least meet some kind of terms, and I'm not going to take your word for it. I'm going to tell you what the plan is. It was, she did great. You're right. And they cast her perfectly, because there's plenty of times where she was doing was awful, but the way she acted in her facial expressions, I sympathize with her. Like, she does love her friend. Like, by no means is she's like, I don't want to kill her. Right. But unfortunately in Game of Thrones, Otto knows exactly what needs to happen. Like, if you want this to go through and you want to put your son on there, you're gonna have to take her out, because people are gonna always question his rule, regardless, as long as she's alive.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
She was I do think she is as much as she got that talk from Rhaenys, she's still being what's the word I'm looking for? Naive. Like, she kind of wants to have her cake and eat it too. Like, oh, maybe Rhaenys or Rhaenyra will give up the throne if I give her so many.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's not gonna happen.
That is not happening.
It's not happening.
Especially with Damon.
Exactly. Damon ain't gonna do it either.
Damon, bro, I cannot wait till next week. Let me tell you right now. Oh my goodness. Money, talk to me, man, about this scene here, and the father taking orders from his daughter now, or is he just making face? Yeah, sure, you're the queen. I'll listen to you for now.
I think she knows better now, and I think that this is why each one had their own search party. Like, it's like we think they're like, y'all are all Team Green. Like, what are y'all doing? But also, no, they're not all Team Green. They all want different things. He knows. He knows what the Game of Thrones is all about. Like, he's been around. He's seen it. He's seen how it's played out. He's seen how, like, the quiet years have been. He knows. I think she realizes, she's like, damn it, I'm so far into it, but if I can control the piece that controls everything else, I win, and I can get what I want. And so like that's why you send Kristen Cole and Eamon after your son, so that way you can be the one that whispers the propaganda in his ear.
Right.
That way you can try and control the factor. And I think this was the point where she realized, like, no, dude, like I'm if this isn't one of many standing up points with her dad, like this was an important scene for all of us to see. Like, you're not just under the control of Otto. Like, Otto has his own agenda and you have your own agenda. And so like, not only is it like,
That's the one right there.
Not only is the family divided of all of like the you know, of all the like this person, not for, but like these two are divided. And like, is there going to be some plot twisting coming up with like what he wants to do with some back end people? Is there there's already things going on that she does with Laris that's like some sort of like, you know, chess moves off the board type thing to try and get what she wants. Yeah. If anything, this was like the culmination of like what we kind of figured was going on, but what she needed to do in order to be like, I'm Allison Hightower, bitch. Like, you know, like put some respect on my name. Like, Dad, you know, you're like, you don't control anything.
Yep. I love it. Lion Man, jump in there, man. And more particularly, your thoughts on, are you curious about what happened to her mother? Because, you know, it's a couple times in episode 1, he brought up the mother, and now he brings up, you look like your mother in the light. I wonder how powerful she was, if she was powerful enough that Otto had to maybe take out his own wife. I don't know what comes of that relationship, but your thoughts on Allison speaking up to her dad. To Lion, by the way.
Very important episode for Allison. Oh, what? You can hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
This was a very important episode for Allison because this is something that this is why I'm Team Green. I take a lot of flack for it. I'm Team Green, so I take a lot of flack for it. What's going on? Am I the only Team Green here? Okay, here we go. Wanted man.
He won't try.
So this one. So you look online, Allison gets just everybody hates her. Everyone on the internet hates Allison, and I'm like, it's unfair.
I don't hate her
because
I can say I hate her.
When she says to her dad, "Listen, I done all of this just because I wanted to impress you."
Right?
Who hasn't ever want to impress their parents? You know what I'm saying? So then you can relate. They humanize her in this episode because now you can relate to her. She's more relatable. You will see that even though she is trying to put her son as king, she still wants to take care and do the best way possible in a very dark situation and take care of Rhaenyra. I mean, she has already crossed the line of doing evil things. That's why she doesn't do anything when people die around her. That she's willing to cut a deal with Laris and stay in a very uncomfortable situation when he's doing what he's doing, and just in order for her to get what needs to happen, to get what she needs to get done. So she, in this episode, to me, I think it's gonna allow more people to connect with her in a way that they haven't been able to before, because she's been seen as this evil queen, and now she is someone that you can relate to as a person, somebody you have known in your life.
Lion, I love it, man. But you are crazy. You are crazy. This woman tried to pull out a kid's eye a couple weeks ago, man. This woman.
Well, it was eye for an eye. The other kid slashed her kid's eye. Come on,
come on,
man.
That's
what it is. Medieval times.
Come on.
He lost a fight. He started. That's what happened.
He was winning that fight. The other kids had to cheat to beat him. Look at that.
Nah, he got jumped.
It was 3 against 1, and he was still winning.
He talking spicy.
After round, he found out. This pretty much how it happened.
Yeah, he fucked around and then he found out. That's exactly what happened.
You know, Lion, to your point, I do want to point out that with Allison, it seems like she's okay with taking the benefit of things. So if somebody dies and it's sad, and I'm gonna be sad for it, but she does benefit quite a bit from everything people do. From her being the queen, from Lars killing, the Strongs, to her son taking the biggest dragon. She seems to be one of the ones like, oh, that's not right, that's not good, but she's benefiting from it quite a bit. So I think she comes off quite hypocritical, especially when you look back and you look through all the episodes. Like, yes, she's a great actress, and I do sympathize with her for some bit, but by all means, she doesn't like, oh, let's give it back. She doesn't do that. She's like, I'm still gonna take it, whatever is advantage, it's power, it's position. She's very much gonna take her privilege.
Right.
I agree with that, man.
Like this moment here, Lion, I need you to talk to me, man. We got the feet on the screen. All my feet fetish fans out there, relax with some feet, pretty feet. But Lion, man, what you guys say about this, man? She's
we need an explanation.
Yeah, we need to hear from you.
I was confused. I'm watching the scene. They're sitting across from each other. I'm like, okay, there's just a queen, one of her servants talking. And then she puts her feet up. I'm like, you know what? She's been tired. She's been walking all over this castle all day, going up and down. She's just relaxing. Then she takes the socks off. Maybe it's hot. They don't have AC. So, hey, listen, it's pretty hot summer day. And then Larry starts doing some things and she turns around. Okay, this just turns out. This just went really wrong. And this is just showing you the lengths she's willing to go to accomplish her goals. And I think this started ever since she got that wink from Laris once about the Strongs being eliminated from the show. I think this is when this alliance kind of like really sparked.
The Foot Alliance,
The Foot Alliance. Money, talk to me about Quentin Tarantino's role in tonight's episode. I need you to talk to me, Money. This was insane, man. I never would have imagined that someone would have a foot fetish in Game of Thrones.
Quentin Tarantino, yeah, look at that.
Oh man,
that's bad.
I can't do this here. All right. Man. What that tells me though is like it's implied that this is not the first time that she knows what to pay the toll. Yeah, she knows how to pay the toll. You pay.
I would have loved to heard that first conversation. I would have loved, especially Money, especially coming off of Atlanta. I'm gonna need y'all to kiss for those shoes. I would have loved to have seen Alan say, "You want to see my feet? Excuse me."
Yeah.
I would have loved it.
How many minutes? Like
how many minutes?
But yeah, like this there's
how
already
many digits?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, but I think it's funny because who brought up that like Laris, like was it Otto who was like, you spend a lot of time with the queen?
Yeah.
Like, there's people that are like, bro, like this kind of weird.
Game.
They don't know. They don't know he's got a foot fetish, but like they know that something a little weird a little awry is going on. Like it's kind of weird. Y'all hang out. So y'all sit at the same cafeteria table too much. Like it's kind of weird, bro. And of all things to have a fetish, you're like,
right.
Like
he got a whole club foot. Yeah, that's what
I guess it makes sense. It's like his weakness, his Achilles heel. If we want to defeat him,
wow.
And then it went full Game of Thrones episode 9 when he started like, touching beneath his sheath. You know what I mean? Like, like, bro, what? And then when she turned away, like she left her feet out, but she turned away. It's like, oh, I know what you're doing. I just don't want to see this. Like, so this is not the first time this happened.
But feet.
What's that?
She turned around. She was like, "Oh, I just gotta get to work. I just gotta get this done."
It's a normal Tuesday. That's what I'll be saying though, because I was saying I'm not buying it, y'all. Like I said this last week, like she has this like higher thought of herself, but then be doing like snake stuff on the side.
Oh,
like,
she's apocryphal to the core, right? Like she'll like I say this, but I'm gonna do this. It's like
right. And y'all said like y'all sympathize with her. I don't sympathize with her. I empathize, but I don't sympathize because like everything that she's doing is more so like okay, like it's a means to an end, like even with her dad, like people like y'all saying like she stood up to her dad. I feel like she's been known this. I feel like this is the first time she's actually expressed it. But like even when she was younger, like when they had that conversation before he left, like I feel like she knew at that point it's like, oh man, I'm losing my backbone. Like essentially, like I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Essentially. So I feel like with her stepping into this role is like, all right, nah, I'm queen mother, so we gonna do things my way. it was still like, yo, Otto still wins because this is what he's always wanted from her. And it was weird when he was like, oh, you look like your mother in this light or whatever. I was like, hey, whoa, all right now. Like, come on now. So I'm just
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I mean, you can shoot her all the hell you want. I'm not rocking with her. I'm not rocking with her.
I mean, she's a real one. She's loyal because her man told her in his deathbed, I want Aegon as king. At least that's what she understood.
Nah, Lion,
And
these toes ain't loyal. No, man.
Nice, love it, Johnny, man. I don't know if I get your thoughts on this yet, man, but
yeah.
just
So
curious
I think
man.
there was more going on than you guys think because
Let's hear it, Johnny.
when
Drop
she
some knowledge on us.
turned, I'm sorry.
I said drop some knowledge on us, my friend.
Oh, okay. I thought my sound was off or something. Okay. When she turns, she sticks her hand into her cloak.
No.
I think
No
they
way.
were both mutually masturbating
Johnny,
together.
what are you saying here?
No way.
Didn't see that
Yes,
one.
I-
Not
Hold
gonna lie.
on.
We're watching the same episode.
I do think
Johnny,
so,
did you go into another did you get into the scenes? I don't know
I
what you
did
talking
not
about,
go
friend.
into.
Let me see.
It's a fanfiction I didn't see.
I
Did we
not
watch the
have-
same? Did we watch the
I
same
didn't- I
channel?
didn't-
Was it
That looked like
HBO, not
that.
HBO?
Nope.
I don't
I
know.
didn't have Pornhub in the other tab or anything. You know, I didn't have anything else on.
That don't look
They're
like
both
the
breathing.
sign of
They're
pleasure
both
right
breathing
there.
heavy.
Johnny, you sure
Look-
you didn't
look-
go to Allison's OnlyFans page, my friend?
Look at where her hand goes, and then
I'm gonna have to
tell me
rewatch
that
I'm gonna look
that's
at that
not what I'm
again.
seeing.
The
But I
internet's
think
going
that that's
crazy
what
now.
was happening. You know.
I'm gonna have to rewatch
I
this whole
do.
episode. I'm gonna have to do it.
I'm gonna see if I can find it here.
Oh, he's gonna
as I
watch it
play
while we're talking. This is interesting.
I'm gonna try to find because obviously HBO they got snipers out there. I don't want them to snipe the stream down. I'm trying to see if there's the exact moment where Johnny's talking about, and I'm gonna pull it up once we get there.
I think Allison's so
you see
detached
her
from her
hand,
own
you
body
see her hand go
that she wouldn't
into-
even do that for real. Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree
think-
with you on that one, especially after the way she had her nightly
Right.
visits with her husband.
right,
She's attached.
right.
Johnny, I'm not
I
seeing.
mean, she
my
did
friend.
have those erotic pictures in her room. Like if you look at some of the earlier episodes,
all the
she
wall.
did have some erotic,
I don't think she picked that wallpaper
Oh,
though.
no,
Yeah,
those
she
are all
picked that
those
junk.
are all
Those are for
gone
her.
now.
Yeah.
Those are all gone now because of the religious icon.
Mhm.
Oh, the
Right.
7. Yeah.
The seven,
that's
yeah,
right.
the faith of the
So
seven.
so how you felt at 7 thinking about what she's doing right now?
Yeah, they wouldn't. Yeah, they would
Mm.
not be a fan of that.
Mm.
Johnny, I don't
don't
see
think-
it, bro. I'm gonna try to
Mm.
bring it up here now. I think she
All right,
just was turning over.
Maybe I'm delusional. You know, maybe I'm fantasizing myself. Maybe my fetish kicked in.
Oh
Yeah, I don't see it, Johnny.
All
I think
right,
she
all
was
right,
just
all
getting
right.
there.
Hey,
Yeah.
players mess up, man. Players mess up.
It's messed up. But moving on, gentlemen. I mean, the feet fetish that was crazy, man. I wonder. Listen, I mean, this if I'm Rhaenyra, and if I find out that that's his thing to get
Oh,
him on
man.
my side, just pull out your feet, Rhaenyra. Game over, right? He could switch sides so quickly. I wonder if Allison didn't have good feet, if he would be on her side. That's what I'm curious about. But
You'll be riding them dragons though.
yeah, I wonder if he has a
I
thing
don't
for
know.
dragon feet.
The
You
tiger
know,
claws.
where does it end? Where does the fetish
The
end?
Jones
is my
might be like this. I don't know.
Like, damn, look at them nails. Yeah.
those
Yeah.
tiger claws.
These toes ain't loyal. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, this was the scene earlier that we all referred to, and I'm again very curious to see what comes of the burning building. If anyone was there for, or like you guys mentioned, it's maybe just a warning that don't mess with the people of power. But we'll see what comes of that. But wrapping up the episode, G, I want to start with you, man. We again overall, as Money kind of alluded to, yeah, the episode had some clunkiness, some weird moments, some little slower paced moments, but this is where, as they say, shit hit the fan, my friend.
Yeah.
G, setting up the scene again. We get everyone's going to the Dragon's Pit, which I mentioned the visual effects were a little lackadaisical. Well, the crowd of people, the horde of people looked a little off to me, but I digress. They're all in the Dragon Pit. You know, they're welcoming in their new king. I thought for a second that he was gonna, Aegon was gonna maybe run off or I don't know, pleasure himself in front of everyone and bring dismay to his family. But now everything plays out and Rhaenys sneaks off,
Yeah.
very Arya Starkish in a sense, and
Yeah.
the beast is here, man. Just walk me through how you felt building up to that moment before her dragon comes out, and almost feeling like I can't remember the episode, but when the Cersei, when she had her little scheme and killed all the people,
she nuked everybody.
She killed with the flame. But yeah, your thoughts, man.
I feel like going up into this moment, I didn't recognize that was the dragon pit. Like I was just like, oh, I knew where they were going to go do, but like it wasn't like I feel like for me at least, I haven't seen the dragon pit enough to recognize it by like the build. I know what it looked like on the inside.
Yeah, it's only been a couple of shots.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was interesting seeing them, go there and everybody getting funneled, like that whole like escape plan. I was like, are they really escaping, or is he leading her somewhere so that she get knocked off? Like,
yeah,
I wasn't sure
too. Yeah, when he was leading through the streets.
Yeah. But other than that, I think this was more like, to me, it was more telling from Aegon. I think obviously, Rhaenys had the best moment, but like this car ride over here when he was like, yo, do you love me? And then she was like, she's like, you idiot,
imbecile,
you imbecile, right? So it showed me a lot about his real character, because he just, like, from the jump, he just wanted to be loved and being that second child and always playing second fiddle to Rhaenyra, when everybody's telling you like, yeah, you should be this and you should be that, but your dad is like, nah, I'm not really messing with you. So when he got that applause from the crowd, you could tell like, okay, maybe this was his dragon. Moment for like and then maybe they created a monster, because like even his crown was like, didn't look like a crown. I mean, it was shaped like a crown, but it was just like the crown of a conqueror. And I was like, okay, is he really a conqueror like that? Like, is he going to turn into something that we haven't seen yet? So other than that, the floor breaking up was, I was like, bro, what is going on? Like this, I couldn't believe that happened. And then I thought, for me, it was the smirk from Rhaenys. Like, it was just like, yo, I could end y'all all right now. Like, with such ease. And I'm like, yo, where did you get the armor from? But that's just like,
he's Iron Man, man. Nanotech.
Right.
Nanotech.
Right. I was just like, all right, I'll let that go. But as far as like an escape, like, she finessed that joint for sure. Like, and I think that's about it. I was expecting somebody from like some word to be spread to Rhaenyra and them at some point,
right?
But that didn't happen. At least we didn't see it. So
that dude tried. That dude really tried.
I would say the guy tried. He was like, I'm just gonna go get a Slim Jim. I'll be back. And then nah. Trash back there. Heal my man.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
That joint was fire. It ended good.
Johnny, talk to me. What moments did, obviously the moment with Rhaenys, but besides that, man, what did you think about the build up, the conversation in the wagon, the build up to the king walking through, to people cheering him on, to obviously the moment of the queen that never was.
Doesn't want to be there. Still doesn't want to be there. Is clueless. Wonders if his mom loves him. It's like, if your mom didn't love you, do you think that she would have like sent these people to go get you?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it serves her purposes too, but and then I just love the scatter of everything and the chaos that the chaos that ensued when the beast came out from under the board, and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was shocked, and then when I saw it, okay, Melisse is like, you're not leaving without me. And when she jumped on the dragon, and I knew that she wasn't going to incinerate them because we need to have a show.
Yeah.
But it was like,
same. I had the same thought. Yeah.
It was like, oh damn, she could have ended him right there. And that was a pretty cool way to leave Westeros.
Yeah.
On a dragon, man. Loved it. Money Man, how did you feel about the moment, obviously, with the dragon? Was I the only one at home that I was starting to slowly put the piece together? I'm like, Helena said something about something on the floor and beasts on the floor. What did you think about it?
I didn't get it until like 2 seconds. As soon as it started, and people just, the dragon came out, and I was like, oh my god, the beast. But I didn't get it.
I completely missed it.
Rhaenys was going down. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck she's going. She's escaping. She's gonna go somewhere. I don't really fucking know. Does anybody know? But as soon as I thought about it as like all these people were fleeing, and I'm like, oh my god, these people bored. Like Helena's like, she's not a genius, but like this girl just be spitting hot fire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just like a dragon. So yeah, I don't know if I was the only one, but again, like I was a little like I like hit pause like when this scene happened and he's getting crowned, and I'm like, bro, like this is the whole episode. Like it's kind of cool. Like we get a lot of story, but I'm like, we're gonna get something. And then as soon as the ground broke, I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, I don't know if I was the only one that screamed that when that happened, but I did that. And I was just excited that like we get to come up into like, oh, Team Black is about to come back, and like it's about to be a whole show after, like it's about to be a whole series after this. It's about to be war after this, and like this right here is like the spark that sets it off, and like it's very exciting to see. So I don't know, man. Like I thought the episode was a bit slow up into this, but it's called for sometimes. Like we need story building, we need world building before we can have full-on action and full-on war pieces. And I'm not just here for the war stuff. I love a lot of the Game of Thrones world, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But like as soon as this happened, I was just like, it was well worth the last like 3 minutes of it to just be like, oh my god, this, oh my god, that, the commercial's coming on, oh my god, oh my goodness, this is gonna happen. So I'm like, yeah, sign me up, let's go.
Love it, man. I couldn't agree with you more. And again, just a quick little self promotion. We have our live watch parties, and I was trying to pull up a little screenshot of when that moment happened during the live party tonight, and this was the moment here, ladies and gentlemen, when Rhaenys came out. I kind of lost it at that moment, as you guys can see, just rooting, hands in the air, ready to celebrate. It was a moment. It was a moment. It was a moment, guys. I loved it.
This is just as good as seeing the dragon come out. Seeing you celebrate.
Yeah.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved every single second of it. I was losing my mind, like screaming.
Look at your eyes.
Loved it, man.
I love it.
And everything.
Yeah.
Got it. I didn't know where I lost it. I lost it, man. What a way.
Yep.
What a way to end the episode. Justin, man, talk to me about this ending, man.
Oh man, this ending, it was a great build up. I love the fact that she was talking to her son. The whole beginning of the show was trying to get to him, and she finally got to him. She's trying to put the plan in place. This is what your grandfather's going to tell you. This is what you need to do. And then he's all, do you love me? Like, you need to pay attention here. There's some things that are more important here. That imbecile part was great.
Yeah.
And then, I know G said he didn't know where they was going, but I was like, okay, that's not the Red Keep, and that's not the throne room. So the only other bigger like location I can think of was a dragon pit. Mm-hmm. And then when I saw Rhaenys smile, I was like, okay, they're probably going to the dragon pit to crown him. And she's like, my dragon's there. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I didn't know why she was smiling. I was like, why is she geek right now?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well,
they gave her distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see that Aegon's like smile, like, yeah, so people actually love me for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this guy's gonna be trouble. He got a taste of it, and now he can't let it go. And then to hear it come out, I was just like,
yeah. Oh, here's that smile. Hold on, a little bit of smirk from Rhaenys I bring up, but Lion Man, talk to me about that moment and help me out, Lion. So far, I don't see it, and I've heard some things about Aegon. I mean, if we all have seen Game of Thrones, they allude to certain events that will take place in the show. Who knows? They might change things up, but it seems like Aegon will be a problem, moving forward in the show. I don't see it right now, as far as being menacing and a foil to really fear. But hopefully that actor, because I think these are the actors that are set for the rest of the series. But let me know what you thought about the scene, and more importantly, the queen that never was. Lion.
So start with Aegon. Aegon went from being very reluctant, accepting this position as king. He doesn't feel like he doesn't want the responsibility. It was crushing him, this whole thing. When he finally gets on that stage and he see everyone applauding for him, cheering for him, this guy is feeling himself, and he starts just going hard, like, yes, I am the king. I can see him not becoming a Joffrey-like character, but more of a lazy king, a king that is going to use his power for his pleasures, whether it's going to be wine, women, whatever else may be. and
Like Robert?
eventually,
Yeah, that's what I was
kind
thinking
of like
too.
Robert, but I think Robert was more involved in the decision. I think you will see a like Otto ruling more than he ever had before, and I think at some point we might see him become paranoid of losing this power because he's gonna get too accustomed to this life,
Mm,
and that's when he's gonna become a big problem in the series. That's what's gonna become that
that'd be
snotty
cool.
Brad that we see. I would love for Aemon to become king because Aemon's just a badass in the show, but
Yeah,
total
keep
badass in the
watching.
show.
I would
I would
take
love
that.
it.
That's the only
I think he
listen,
needs
Ryan,
his
that's the only
freedom though.
dream player that I can rock with you on that one, bro. I'll rock with you.
Team
I
Greens is
think
the
I think he
best
needs
one.
his freedom though to be able to do the stuff that we love. Like if he's just sitting on the throne politicking, like I don't think he'll be able to get down like we need him to get down. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Well, question I have for you guys is, I guess, manipulation. We know Cersei. We know Joffrey wasn't really calling the shots per se. It was
Yeah.
his grandfather and Cersei. But do we think that Aegon's going to be manipulated by Alicent and Otto, or do we think he's going to shut that down very quickly and be very kind of like his brother and be like, I'm the king now, and have this energy that was never seen before?
I think he's gonna turn into a monster.
Monster.
Like, yeah, I don't think like people like the way that Otto was looking at him was like, oh man, this is what I've been working for this whole time. But I feel like it's gonna end up blowing up in his face because of the way that they actually raised him. So like all of the stuff that he has been showing up until this point, I feel like it's just only gonna get heightened, and then with Alicent, like I feel like he's still gonna have like a soft spot for her because that's his mom. But like as far as like manipulating, like even Rhaenys was like, or when she was talking to Rhaenys, she was like, yeah, we soften the blow basically or whatever of like, trying to keep the peace and things like that. And I mean they're already labeling Aegon the Conqueror, so I don't know how much peace I think it was cool that they said when they was talking about Viserys, like they called him the King of Peace or whatever, and I was like, okay, so he did get remembered for something.
Yeah.
So like that was cool, but or it was Viserys the Peaceful, and I was just like, okay, like that's dope for him. But I think this just like he was still cowering behind his mom, so I think that'll happen. But I think Otto's going to end up getting shut out, and he's going to get mad. That's what I think.
Quick question for you, Johnny, man. Again, going back to those flashback or time skips, man. Another relationship I would have loved to see, or at least a conversation, was we've never seen Varys besides when they were babies, him interact with them. But I would have loved to have seen a conversation between Varys, Aemon, Aegon, Helena. I would have loved to have seen what kind of father he was to them, because obviously Rhaenyra was on another level. He loves her more than the parents say they love their children equally, but I don't think that was the case with Varys and his daughter Rhaenyra. But did you miss those moments, Johnny? Would you have liked to have seen King Viserys interact with his sons and his daughter?
I don't think I needed to see like a day-to-day kind of like, taking them to school or whatever.
Maybe that one conversation.
But it would have been good to have something to have him, to have him say something or to have them interact in some way. Yeah. Because it didn't seem like he was part of their life at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Except when he had to confront them
at the dinner table
about the bastard and
right.
And he called him father, and it's like
right.
there wasn't anything going on, and they just left that out, and they could have put a little something in there,
after
the first time jump, but it seems like maybe it's on the cutting room floor, maybe it's going to be in the extended version or something, and maybe they decided not to use it, but it could have had something to show that that there's some sort of connection between the king and these children.
Yeah, I mean, look at what he did with Rhaenyra. As much as he loves her, they didn't talk for a long time, even when she was a kid.
Yeah.
So, like, I just don't think Viserys is a good communicator, and it comes down to like him, like even if he was like able to share the things that he liked with his kids, like I don't even think he did that. I don't think he know what their favorite color was or like anything. Like it was just I had you, and let me get back to my Legos.
Y'all mother's child. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think we touched on everything, gentlemen. Anything? Well, I guess we'll do a roundtable. I want to start with Justin, man. Starting with you next week. Trailer, I don't know if you saw it or not, but some dragon action, Justin. Just some battling, some rain, some very high budgeted stuff I saw in that trailer. What do you hope to see next week, Justin?
So there was a great foreshadowing at the council when I forgot which one it was, but one of them said, I think it was the one at the end of the table. He's like, Stormman's gonna be a trouble. He has $4 that are able to be wet, and then there's a storm. So
yeah,
I think something's gonna happen there. One of these guys. Oh, anyways, I'm looking forward to dragons fighting. I'm looking forward to Daemon finding out what happened and how they're trying to take the seat away from his wife. And then finally kicking off. Right now they have somewhat of a Penn-Openton episode, and I'm probably gonna get pissed off because they're gonna end it right when I wanted to kick off even more.
Yeah,
great. Like another 2 years, and I gotta wait.
You know it. Johnny, man, what do you hope to see next week, my friend?
I'm hoping to see some really good dragon action. I'm hoping to see who ends up still alive. I think we're gonna lose some people.
Interesting.
We're losing
key players.
I think we're gonna lose some of the children.
Oh,
I think some of Rhaenyra's children are going to be lost somehow. And
Jake and Luke.
Dang.
Yep. And then I'm concerned, and just looking forward to all the action and making sure that that we have a good send off for the and start filming season 2, please.
Yeah. It has, I don't think filming has begun, so it's going to be a 2025 probably
March
date.
or something. I think they said they were going to start in March, so
March of next year.
Yeah,
it's going to be a long time. Lion, speak on it, man. What do you hope to see next week, my friend?
I will hope to see 10 more episodes, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. No, but
from the beginning to end, and you get 10 more episodes.
I'm actually going to rewatch Game of Thrones. I'm going to rewatch the series again. I normally tend to watch it because you always pick up new things. But for next week, I read a little bit of Fire and Blood, and some of the scenes that I saw in the preview are to the point that I have read, and I didn't think this stuff was going to happen so quick, but they're really going fast in the story. So next week is going to be fire. I think we're going to see Rhaenyra's stance in this whole situation. She's going to be as lenient or as forgiving as Alex is trying to be. Let's make sure Aegon doesn't die. No. Well, she's going to be, let's rain fire on them. Let's gather all of our forces and let's go destroy everyone that's trying to deny me from being my right to be queen, right? So that's what I'm hoping to see. What's going to be her response? It's going to be a tense episode. I think everything's going to happen very, very fast. It's going to be a lot of action, and I expect it to be very, very shocked in the next episode.
I hope so. And before we go to Man Money, Lion, I just got to let you know, the most difficult part for me this episode, Lion, was the fact that we spent so much time with Team Green. You know what? Matter of fact, this is how I was most of tonight's episode.
Just try a little taste.
Don't just stare at it, eat it.
That's how I was.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen,
tonight. I couldn't take it.
Listen, green for the win. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
Money, talk to me, man. What do you hope to see next week, man?
I hope to not see Larys touch himself next week. First of all, if I can get an episode where that doesn't happen, I'd be great. But
along with the Queen touching herself.
No, Johnny, yeah. OnlyFans, Johnny. OnlyFans.
I need a replay or an OnlyFans to see it. But the Dance of the Dragons is real. Like, give me some dragon fighting action in the sky.
Yeah.
Give me just a little. I don't need the whole thing because we've got what 4 or 5 more seasons left. Like, just give me a little taste of.
George R. Martin gets
Yeah. Just give me a little bit. Give me a little bit of one side versus the other. Give me a little bit of who we're gonna see battling. Is it gonna be Aemon versus Rhaenyra, Rhaenys, Daemon. Yeah, I've got friends that read the book, so I kind of know a little bit of here and there what happened. But I want to see it on. I kind of want to see it on screen.
How it looks on
so
screen. Yeah.
Let me see a little bit of dancing on stage, and I ain't talking about a Texas two-step. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talk to me, Justin. Did I get you, Justin? On the
Yeah, you
finale?
got me first.
Who did I get? Was it G? Did I get you? Did you take it to everyone? Are we,
No, I ain't go yet.
Talk to me, G.
He ain't got it yet. Yeah.
Talk to me, bro.
All right. So, like y'all want to see the dragons, right? But as much as I want to see the dragons, because I feel like it's like how much it's. I feel like it depends on the circumstance of like what they can actually show the dragons doing. Just because it's like we've seen dragons fight before, right? But this is the first time we're really seeing like dragon fighters or whatever, like other people fighting each other on dragons. So I do want to see that, but I also want to see some duels.
Live
Like I want to see
dragons.
some sword play.
Oh yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Just because like that stare down between Damon and Eamon was real. Like it was a level of respect that's like, hey, you're not ready yet. And I want to see Eamon really test his gusto, you know. So I want to see that. I want to see what Allison is going to be doing, because Allison, like when she was talking to Rhaenys, Rhaenys has a dragon, but it's like, so she can make plays like she did at the end of this episode. But what is Allison going to be doing in the midst of the fighting? Like that's when she's going to be her most powerless, if you really think about it. Like she relies so heavily on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So how they're going to handle that, I think Aegon's not even going to see the battlefield. I think he's going to cower in the tower. But I just want to I want to see it stacked up like Avengers Civil War, like dragon
Team on team battle.
and see like where because I still don't really know how many dragons there are in this whole thing. So
I think they said 9 this
17.
season, and there's like 17 altogether.
Yeah, so like, who got what's the math? Who got 8 and who got 9?
Well, Team Green has the most dragons, if I'm not mistaken, right now, and they obviously have the biggest one in Vhagar. So it's gonna be a trouble, man.
I want to see that. That's pretty much it, though.
Ooh, I'm here for it, man. Next week will be hopefully a crowd pleaser. Like, you got something to say, man? Oh, I thought you said that.
No.
Listen,
I was researching the dragon names. And that took me a while just to learn all the different dragon names. It's crazy how many they
I still don't know half their name. I know Vhagar. I know.
No, they colors. That's it.
Helis, Vhagar, Caraxes,
Sea Smoke.
I have the list.
Like, that's one of my favorite
ones. Oh, matter of fact, Sea Smoke. That's
Rhaenyra.
dragon who claimed Sea Smoke.
Oh yeah, who got that one? Hopefully one of the nieces.
Bayla, I think it does. Has it? Bayla, one of the kids.
Okay.
Well,
Dream
2
Fire.
hours next week, gentlemen. We expect a 2-hour finale.
Yeah, I need a movie.
Yeah.
See it in the cinema. Well, listen, man. What a fantastic discussion. What a fantastic panel. I can't thank these gentlemen enough. Hopefully we can all catch up next week and see how the finale offers, see how many feet fetishes we get in next week's finale, see how many dragons we see get slayed or killed, and how many characters walk out of next week's finale, man. I'm here for it. But starting with you, G, man, again, I always love chopping it up with you, brother. So why don't you let the people know again where they can find your content and what you got lined up this week as far as content, man?
Yeah, so you can find me at Jonato Reviews on everything. Mainly I do YouTube, but we also got a podcast called the Why I'm Geek Show on your favorite podcast platforms and YouTube as well. This week I saw my first and last Halloween movie. So yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, right?
They tricked them.
And also I'm gonna be talking House of the Dragons. I'm in my One Piece journey too, so a whole lot of different stuff. But a lot of stuff going on socials, a lot of stuff going on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely stay tuned.
Definitely, man. This guy here talk about disappointment.
Oof,
Corey Cunningham.
Oof, trash.
Oof. Man. Anyway, Johnny, man, talk to me. Where can people find you? And I know you got your channel loaded up and lock and loaded, man. Where can people find that awesome channel?
Yeah, it's called Quantum Entangled because of all the connections that we have in the universe, and found some connections in the chat too. Some East Coast people, originally where I'm from. Follow me on
Thank.
social media because I pissed off a bunch of people that were probably Dodger fans over the last couple days, and they unfollowed me. So I need some more followers on Twitter. Check out Quantum Entangled when it's on, and looking forward to next week. As much as I don't want it to be the finale.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Bittersweet, Johnny. But shout out to the Padres, man, doing their things this year. Justin, man, I know you don't do the social media or the YouTube stuff, man, but I always want to have people know where they can find awesome people like yourself, whether it is, I know you have a TikTok, and I'm curious, Justin, will you and your family be seeing Black Adam this week, man?
Well, hopefully, if it goes good. This week I have a couple of birthday parties to go to, but I'm looking forward to it. I know everything's online, and they said who's in the post-credit scene. I've ignored it. I want to see it for myself.
Yeah,
it's been a Herculean task to do that. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah,
I feel like every time I check out my
when the
TikTok
stars of
or
the film are saying things. Yeah,
right. Exactly. But
awesome.
Looking forward to enjoying Halloween. I've only seen usually for Halloween I always watch Hocus Pocus, the first Halloween, 2018 Halloween. I've only watched 2 so far, and I'm gonna have to throw in Werewolf by Night, because that's just
good
television.
I gotta watch
that. Yeah, so, man.
Doing that this week. I'm gonna watch my Halloweens, the good ones, not the
good ones. The
Werewolf by Night's so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, shout out to you, Justin. Always appreciate you, man. Money coming on to the channel for the first time, man. Again, I appreciate you having me on this past week, and hopefully last week and this week is what many more of these to come in the future, man. But why don't you plug your outlets and where people can find you, man?
Yeah, man. You could find me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all Money Blake Weather. You can follow the podcast Unfiltered Bachelor. It's a dating relationship one. I just had 9 of 9 Nerd Yards on. We just put an episode out on YouTube where we're breaking down a thing called The Button. What's The Button? Let's go check it out. And if you want to break down and you want to watch all things Atlanta, if you're an Atlanta fan, you can watch 9 Nerd Yards. We're releasing an episode this Wednesday where we're interviewing an actor from that show from this past season 4. And then on Thursday, as soon as the episode is done, we're just going to be recapping it and talking all things Atlanta. So go ahead and check it out. It's all on YouTube. And if you want to follow Unfiltered Bachelor, you can follow it on your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere podcasts are. That's where the show is. But that's for me. And Elliot, thanks for having me on, man.
Of course, man. Of course. And definitely, like I said, we got to link up again, my friend.
Yeah, for sure.
Lion Man, where can they find you, man? What do you have lined up this week, my friend?
So thank you so much for having me in your panel. Everybody was great, always here. You can find me on Structure Media. We do reviews for shows and movies. We're going to be working on a Halloween stream next week. We're prepping that, and then a Black Adam review. I also have a gaming channel where I do some gaming videos on live streams as well. So called This Is Lion. And you can find me on Twitter as well as This Is Lion 809. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of the fiasco known as Gotham Knights. That's gonna be coming this week, and Silent Hill announcement this Wednesday as well. So check me out there as well.
Awesome, man. Yeah, definitely some good gaming stuff coming up. But Gotham Knights, oh my gosh. Listen, you see what I'm rocking, right?
I saw that shirt. I was gonna call that out earlier.
Yeah, man, big Batman fan. But yeah, as far as content on here, man, we will be. I'm a DC fan. If you cut me right now, it's DC color, so I'm definitely excited for Black Adam and what's to come in the future of the DC universe. But definitely keep an eye out for that content, and little shorts every now and then for any breaking news. And of course, Atlanta. We'll be talking about Atlanta this week, which I'm excited for. But listen, guys, I cannot wait till next Sunday. But before then, you all be safe. Have a great week. Keep your foot fetishes to yourself. You should be good. No, but in all seriousness, I appreciate every single one of you all that joined us tonight, and we will catch you guys on the next breakdown. Take care, everyone.
Peace.